Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a good week. So good to be back with you. I know a lot of people are growing and expanding a lot just throughout this whole experience we're going through right now, especially with being home, and we're really being forced to look at a lot of our stuff, look at ourselves. And I know for me, I can share that a lot of stuff has been coming up around really loving myself and really accepting myself. And in the areas where I'm not loving myself and it's harder to love myself, asking, why is that? Where does that come from? Is that valid? Do I really want to continue to take these beliefs and ideas with me into this next phase? And so I thought that this week, actually, it was a suggestion from one of our patrons, this theme, but I thought that this week would be an amazing week to tap on self-love, because truly, and I made like a TikTok on this recently, truly the number one thing that can instantly enhance your beauty and your confidence and your relationships and your abundance truly is self-love. When you love yourself, that's the key to everything else. It unlocks everything else. And it's almost like a lens that you get to then put on and look through, and it just enhances your whole world. So yeah, we're tapping on self-love this week. I even wore this doesn't say self-love, but it says trust your soul, which I feel like is another way to say love yourself. Really trust in yourself and love yourself. So that's what we're tapping on this week. So yeah, we're not going to take as much time in the beginning this time to go through all the questions, but we will go through the questions just a little bit. If you saw in my first video, there's a few questions that I want you to ask yourself about whatever your specific issue is that you're going to tap on this week related to self-love. So it could be like self-love in general that you're tapping on, or it could be like loving myself in relation to this specific issue that's making it hard to, right? So as you're watching with me, start tapping on the chest, and we're going to go through these questions a little bit quickly because I'm excited and I want to just get into this tap. Okay, so the questions are: 1, get clear in your mind about like what the issue is that you're tapping on specifically. How would you say it in like one little short sentence? 2, ask yourself, what are the negative emotions, like the top 2 negative emotions that come up when I think about this issue? 3, what are some negative things I say to myself about this issue? Then just see if you can remember the earliest time you ever remember feeling that way, feeling those same emotions, thinking those same things, saying those same things to yourself. What comes up when you ask yourself that question? Take note of it. And then, and this is where I think it's always interesting, ask yourself who was around you when you were young, whether it was a family member or someone who was just around you, who maybe also felt and thought those same things. Maybe they also had this similar issue with self-love. Because when we're little, we model our thoughts and beliefs and behaviors after the people that are around us that we look up to, because we're looking to other people for what to do. So this is like an interesting question. It's always interesting to see, my dad actually also felt like this, or my older sister, or my nanny. And then the last question is, how do you want to feel when it comes to this issue or this topic of self-love? How do you want to feel? That's the most exciting thing about tapping to me, is that it's not just a tool to release your heavy, dark, stuck emotions. It's a tool to reprogram your mind. Like when we're tapping, we're literally saying, hey, nervous system, pay attention. We're changing some stuff here, basically. And we're saying, I release this. I acknowledge you. This doesn't serve me anymore, this old belief. And now what do I choose? And this percussive motion that we're doing here on our body, it's literally like programming in these new beliefs. It's so incredible that we can do this. So that's the last question. What positive things do you want to think or feel about self-love? Because you get to choose. All right. So let's check in. Hi, everybody watching. Everybody watching, if you can just, if you want to chime in on the chat, because we're on Facebook Live, just tell me on a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being the least, 10 being the most, how intense is your specific issue for you today as we're about to tap? What number are you starting at? Whatever number you start at is beautiful. It's not good or bad. It's just where you are. And where you are is perfect. And let's take a couple deep breaths. Inhaling again. Your breath is really important in tapping. So just make sure that when we breathe, you're really inhaling and releasing and just letting it out with an audible sigh if you can, because you're moving energy. All right, perfect. People are weighing in. Mandy says about an 8. Kelly says about a solid 5. Love it. These are good ones. All right, great. So whoever else is watching, you can chime in as well. We're going to start. And for those watching on the live, totally feel free, chime in, let me know where you are or if something specific or a specific area is coming up for you, because since you're watching live, I can help, guide us through that particular area. And if it's coming up for you, then it's probably also coming up for other people who are in this chat and me and whoever else is watching. So it's going to really help if you kind of share something that you want to be addressed. And this way we can help everyone get where they want to go. All right. So we're going to start. Let's close our eyes, tapping with both hands on the chest, focusing on your issue that you came here today to get some relief on. And let's just take a deep breath in and let it out. Deep breath in again. Let it out. One more time. Inhale. And release. You can open your eyes and repeat after me out loud if you can, following where I tell you to tap. I have this issue with self-love. And say your specific issue here, if it's more specific than that. And this has been bothering me for how long? How long have you been dealing with this issue with self-love? Okay. Tap the top of the head. I've had a really hard time loving myself here. For how long again? And I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even with this issue with self-love. Deep breath. Okay. Tap the top of the eyebrows. I want to be able to love myself more than I currently do. I really want to feel more empathy and compassion and kindness towards myself. But sometimes it feels so challenging. Tap the side of the eyes. So say why it feels so challenging. I really want to love myself, but it's hard because why? And keep explaining if there's more to explain. Why is it hard to love yourself? Deep breath. Tap the cheekbones. So I'm speaking to you, we're not doing repeating right now. I'm just telling you something. So what it probably is something that happened once or something that has happened multiple times that you blame yourself for, or you think you don't do well enough, or you think you always do and you wish you would stop doing it. Probably something like that. Tap under the nose. I really wish I could love myself here, but it really feels like I can't sometimes because I always what? Or because one time I what? And it's just so hard for me to accept this and let this go and move on. Deep breath. Tap under the lips. I'm open to loving and forgiving myself for whatever it is that I think I might have done in the past that would make me undeserving of love. Deep breath again. Tap the chest. Now I want you to think back to like truly when it started that you really remember that you couldn't, like it was hard to love yourself, because I promise you, you did not come out of the womb not loving yourself. You came here loving yourself. Maybe it was a very, very long time that you've been feeling like this, but maybe it started very early in childhood, but I'm willing to bet that there's like a memory at least where you remember, before you started this pattern. And just think of when that was. It's possible that this whole issue with self-love started way back when. And I want you to describe the first time you ever felt like you didn't love yourself or you couldn't love yourself. Now tap the front of the ribs. It's like right here, bottom, front. So describe what was happening in this memory that you have, where you, for the first time, you couldn't love yourself, or you were being hard on yourself, or felt sad or scared or ashamed, whatever it was. And describe the situation. I was doing this, or my mom was doing this. And for the first time, I remember feeling what? You're going to cross your arms and tap under your armpit, kind of, or you can tap like this. I like to do this. This memory feels so uncomfortable to me. I really don't like that this happened. But I'm open to loving. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even with this memory that I really don't like, which might be where my issue with self-love started. Take a deep breath. Good. Tap inside of the wrist. So we're just going to do a quick check-in. So wherever you started, just check where you are now in terms of how you feel like in your nervous system. Do you feel a little calmer? Do you feel like your anxiety went up a little bit? How do you feel? Both ways are common. Sometimes it'll go down. Sometimes it might go up a little bit before it goes down. So just note where you are, note what number you are. Everybody who's watching, send me a little message if a particular like part of your issue is popping up for you. Oh, Mandy says, whoa, a couple memories are coming up. Yeah. So that'll happen. And that's beautiful. Mandy, write those down because those are connected to this issue for you, obviously. And when we tap, actually memory, like crazy memories popping up that you haven't thought of in forever is a very common thing that will happen because you're opening up the energy channels and things are getting unlocked. So definitely write those down. Beautiful. Kelly says, definitely feel calmer. Awesome. So for you watching, what still feels like it's sticking though? Okay, so maybe we feel a little more calmer, like maybe we can bring a little more self-love here. But if I were to say, okay, so like just get over it, like just move on then, would you say, yeah, except there's just like one piece that's still bothering me? What would that be? Whatever that is, just tune into that. Oh, I want to do a couple things here. Okay. Okay. I'm excited. We're going to do a little visualization in a few minutes, but right now, repeat after me. I'm starting to feel a little calmer about all of this. And it feels more possible for me to bring love and empathy to myself. I'm still not sure I can fully love myself here, but I think I can bring more love here. Now tap the side of the thumb. You're gonna put your hand like this, so your palm is facing you, and you're gonna tap the side of your thumbnail that's closest to your face, basically. Right here. I'm open to bringing more love and empathy to myself and to younger versions of myself for whatever it is that I experienced that makes me feel like I'm unworthy of love. Even if I did something that was bad, it's possible that it's okay because I was just doing my best that I could at the time with the knowledge that I had available to me. Tap the top of the index finger. I know one of my patrons said they wanted to tap on guilt a little bit, and this is kind of going into that. So part of me feels guilty for certain things that I've experienced or I've done in the past. And this is why it feels hard to love myself. Because part of me thinks I shouldn't forgive myself. I did something that I consider to be a bad thing. And part of me feels like I don't deserve love because of that. Take a deep breath into that. Tap the middle finger. I'm open to the possibility that no matter what I did, it's okay because I'm a human. And humans make mistakes. And it doesn't mean that they don't deserve love. It's possible that I deserve love simply because I'm a human and I'm alive. Deep breath. Tap under the fourth finger. I was tapping with someone today, a private client today, and we were talking kind of about the same issue, and they have a newborn baby, and we were tapping on how it's like, you know, the baby is so worthy of love and so deserving of love, and all they did was be born. For her, that's so clear. It's like, my baby's so worthy and deserving of every single thing. Like, and he doesn't speak, he's just a baby, but he's just a being. And we were kind of helping her see how, well, isn't that the same for you? Like, you were a baby once. Yes, you grew and learned and expanded and had all these experiences, for sure. And yeah, you made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. That's what human life is about. But it doesn't mean that you don't deserve love. It doesn't mean you don't deserve to be kind to yourself. Tap the little finger. I'm open to accepting and honoring the parts of me that feel resistant to accepting love. Parts of me still want to push away my own love and the love of other people because it feels uncomfortable. Tap the side of the hand. I'm open to the possibility that that's okay. I respect these parts of me. And I allow these parts of me to be as they are without trying to change them or forcing them to change. Take a deep breath. Good, so tap on the chest. So the reason why we're constantly, when we're tapping, is saying we're like, I see you like this part of me that feels really uncomfortable or really resistant, and I accept you as you are, basically, is because, think about it. How do you feel when someone tells you you have to change? You're like, no, I don't. And you push back. And these parts of you are the same. They don't want to be told, hey, change now. You've been trying to do that your whole life, right? There's probably parts of you that you've been trying to change since forever that you've been like, why won't you change? And they just keep pushing back because what they need is love and acknowledgement and acceptance as they are. And when we bring that love and acknowledgement and acceptance now as they are, they will relax because their message has been received. So when we can give all parts of us permission to just be as they are, even the parts of us we don't love, or we don't like, we wish they would kind of change, but when we can acknowledge them and give them their space, they'll ease up and go, okay. Like, you'll feel it. You'll feel them go, okay, maybe I could change. Okay, so if you want to check in now and tell me how you're feeling or what number you're at, that would be great. People who are watching live. People who are watching at home later in the library, do the same, check in with yourself. And we're going to do a visualization next, which I love doing because it's just so powerful. So self-love, where are we at? 0 to 10. Mandy says down to about a 5 from an 8. That's awesome. So cool. How long? You've been tapping like 25 minutes. That's awesome. Lovely. All right, we're going to start this visualization. So Kelly says 10 is good, right? 10 is the highest, like most intense. 0 is the least intense. So like ideally you want it to go down eventually, but wherever you are is great. Take another deep breath. Yeah, Mandy said I was up to about a 9 the last time you asked. Been feeling pretty anxious in general lately, but you went back down to a 5. Yeah. That's awesome. And that's a good example. That's how this works sometimes, you know, like Kelly says she's down to a 3 or 4. Amazing. Great work, Kelly, from a 5. That's awesome. Okay. So yeah, just real quick, something that can happen when you're tapping is that I said this in the last video, I'll probably say it again a million times. When you have an issue that you kind of don't like to look at very often, or you don't like to investigate in the way that we are here, when you when you start to actually like pick it apart and look at all the aspects of it like we are, it can kind of start to feel more intense before you feel relief. So that's why, you know, maybe you'll start at like a 7, you might go up to like an 8 or a 9, and then you'll come down to like a 5, which is just part of the roller coaster ride of processing your emotions, folks. Okay, cool. So we're gonna do this visualization that I love to do. So powerful. And I think especially for the topic of self-love, this is great. So tune into the issue that you have, specific self-love issue you're tapping on. And I want you to feel what's left here. Like, okay, we're starting to feel calmer. We're starting to feel better. We're starting to feel maybe clearer here. But what's left? Like what emotion is left? What negative thought is left, or worry or fear is left? Just feel what's there, keeping it together, keeping this issue together. And once you've identified that, I want you to think of the earliest memory that you can remember feeling that same way. And it might be the memory that you came up with in the beginning of this tap, or it might be a new memory. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Whatever comes up for you when I'm asking you, what is the earliest memory you have of feeling the same way that you're feeling right now about this issue? Use that, okay? So when you have the memory, this is preferably from childhood or adolescence. Close your eyes. Keep tapping on your chest. And I want you to see your younger self. Really just see them. Where are they in this memory? Are they like in their room? Are they at a friend's house? Are they at the zoo? Like, where are they? And who's around them? And hone in on them. What do they look like? What What do you notice about them and their physical features and their clothes? Like, what details can you kind of pick out about them, your younger self? And note how old this younger version of you is. And what I want you to do is see the younger you essentially after whatever negative experience has just happened. Because this memory was probably a negative experience that happened. So see them kind of in the aftermath of that, okay? Whatever that was. Now, what I want you to do is freeze the scene. So if there were other people around or things were moving around them, everything stops. But little you is free. Everything is frozen, but little you, okay? And now what I want you to do is bring future you from today, you who's sitting here tapping. I want you to, in your mind's eye, bring future you in to meet little you. And really see this happening in a beautiful, benevolent way. And what I want you to do is just notice how little you responds or reacts to seeing future you. Like, are they happy? Are they scared? Are they hesitant? What's their reaction? And just notice. And then what I want you to do is ask little you, what's going on? What just happened here? And really listen to them. Let them tell you in their own words what happened, what the situation is. And once they've told you, note that down. It's important. Then I want you to ask them, what do you need right now in this moment? What do you need to feel love? What do you need to feel better? What do you need to, just what do you need right in this moment? And they can have anything. They can have, we're using our imaginations here. So whatever they say, we can give it to them. Just listen to what it is they say they want. Now, sometimes what they might want is essentially like a new parent, maybe, or like maybe they were in a scenario where, I'm just making this up, maybe they were in a scenario where their parent really made them feel like unworthy or wasn't there for them. So maybe what they would really like to feel is like the experience of a parent that was there for them and that did support them. Or maybe it's like that they need to feel safe, in which case we can like teleport them to another planet so they can feel safe. Whatever it is that they told you that they need, I want you to give it to them in your imagination. I want you to see them receiving that in some way. So, like I said, if it's like, well, I needed to feel this thing from my parents that I never felt, see your parents' higher self coming in and see it happening the way you wanted it to. Like, see like a new version of your parent acting in the way that as a child you really needed them to, and really experience what that feels like for the younger you to actually get something they never got. And if it's they need safety, take them somewhere safe. If it's they need a friend, give them a friend, be their friend. We're using our imaginations here to give this younger version of you something that they really never got, that made them feel, that made it hard to love themselves ultimately. So I want you to just spend the next like 30 seconds to 45 seconds giving them that and witnessing the feeling of them receiving that. Take a deep breath. And just notice now how your little you, how they feel, how they look, how they appear, what they're experiencing. Just notice the feeling you have in your body as a result of this. And tell me in the comments, for those of you watching live, if you can, how that feels to see or experience little you getting something they needed. And I want you at home to notice that essentially you've just changed the past and the future at the same time, because there's all these little pieces of us that are stuck in these old timelines that are still affecting us to this day. Maybe when you were like 4 years old, your mom told you you were not lovable, you were worthless, and you took that and you believed that, even though it was said one time in some crazy situation. You always carried that with you, and you always felt that worry and fear about that. And that version of you has just still been stuck there. And now we just went back and said, it's okay, nurtured it. And now it's going to send this ripple forward. So let me know in the comments how you're feeling now, if that helped at all. I often find that inner child work is like the most powerful thing we can do, especially while we're tapping. I love visualization. I love, working with inner child in lots of different ways. I have lots of different tools that I like to use. So. Taking another deep breath. Mandy says, so good. My whole chest and throat felt physically super hot for a few minutes. Now feeling a bit more calm. Awesome. So that actually, that like heat, that, oh, and Kelly says the same thing. Kelly says, my chest felt really heavy when we started, and that's all gone now. Beautiful. Yeah, so real quick on Mandy's, my throat felt physically super hot for a few minutes, now feeling a bit more calm. So that's a thing. Sometimes like you'll feel as we're tapping, parts of your body will get really hot. That's actually because you're waking up parts of yourself that have been dormant. Because when you're not acknowledging ways that you feel or thinking about things that have been maybe a long time ago, they were kind of going off like, hey, pay attention to me when you're like 5 years old, but you just keep moving. Over time, that like blinking light just kind of stops and it just becomes numb, basically. So we're kind of like reawakening parts of you that correspond with actual physical parts of your body. And that's sometimes what you'll feel when you're tapping, is like things heating up and coming alive. But also I love Kelly saying like chest felt really heavy and now it feels light and released and it's all gone. The heaviness, the weight is gone. Beautiful. So this is a really amazing thing, is that like the your emotions actually end up leading to physical sensations, weights, ailments. And when you address the emotional, the physical will release and relief. So is what's left for you guys watching at home? Like, is there any part of self-love that you really want to focus on, or for any three of you watching, or do you want me to just kind of take it home with some general stuff? Take a deep breath. Tap the top of the head. Okay, I'm going to start going with some general stuff to close out. And if anyone wants to message, let me know. And we can touch on that too. Repeating after me. I'm feeling a lot calmer now. A lot lighter. Like I have the capacity for more love and more energy here. Good. Tap the top of the eyebrows. I acknowledge that I spend a lot of time being really hard on myself. And I'm open now to the possibility that I can be kinder to myself. Tap the side of the eyes. I can have more compassion for myself and what I've been through and what I'm going through. And I can see the broader perspective of my human experience. That I'm always going to be learning and growing and making mistakes and sometimes doing things that I don't like. But that I can be forgiving of myself. Tap into the nose. Because I know that I can't learn how I want to be. Can't learn how to love myself if I haven't experienced how I don't want to be or how not to love myself. Under the lips. And I've had a lot of experience with not loving myself. And so it's possible that I actually am more clear than I thought on how to love myself. I give myself permission to let go of any harmful or negative or self-sabotaging thoughts about me as a person. They don't serve me anymore. And I also give myself permission to think loving, supporting, beautiful, kind thoughts about myself. because that's what I really need right now. Tap the front of the ribs. What I really need right now is to love myself. And it feels so good to know that I have the power to do that. I'm used to thinking that I need other people to love me before I can love myself. But I'm open now to the possibility that I can give myself the love that I need. And the love from others will follow suit. Tap the inside of the wrist. I'm open now to acknowledging these 3 amazing things that I love about myself. The first being, what is it? What is the first thing that you love about yourself? Please say it out loud. The second being, and the third thing I really love about myself is deep breath. Just, I take this moment to commit to giving more energy to the things I really appreciate about myself moving forward. I deeply and completely love and respect myself. And it's possible that it's safe now to express myself and to love myself exactly as I am. Take a deep breath. Beautiful. Tap all over the body. Tap your shoulders and your legs. Just notice how you feel. I just want to say that I'm so grateful for all of you. I specifically, before this tap, sat down and made an intention that just whatever needed to come through would come through, and that it would be for the highest good of everyone watching. I truly, truly wish the best for you. I truly wish that every person watching this can tap into more self-love today. So proud of you for taking time for yourself to focus on this. I know it's not easy. And I want you to thank yourself for that. I thank you. Kelly said, that was so great. Thank you, Kelly. Mandy said, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this live experience. I want to say also, if you are in my top tier, I have 3 tiers. If you're in my top tier, my Patreon, and you're doing the coaching that I'm offering once a month, I'll be setting a date for that. It'll probably be next week for those watching live. And I will be messaging those of you who are in that tier. And basically what it is we get on Zoom, and I just do coaching for an hour where we can really like talk through your issues a little bit more. I can just give you guidance, whether it's on business or on emotional stuff or ways just to like enhance your life, because that's what I do as a profession as well as this. So I'm really looking forward to that. And oh, thank you so much, Mandy. She said, side note, you are looking amazing today. Makeup on point. You know what? That's actually, I'm glad you brought that up. This is a way that I'm loving myself more. I think I had this idea for a long time that like, oh, I don't need to like take care of myself or like put makeup on or do my hair, anything like that, because like, I don't know, I had some weird limiting belief about that, but I've actually really been working through self-love on my end lately. And I had this realization about a week ago. I was like, no, you know what? Like, that's a way I haven't been loving myself. Not that every woman needs to wear makeup at all. It's nothing about that. It's about, I think it's a way that I like to give myself love and feel feminine and feel good. And I've been not loving myself by ignoring that. And so I finally, a week ago, was like, I'm going to dress up every day if I feel like it. And it's been really lovely and enhancing my own self-love. So thank you for reflecting that back to me, Mandy. I appreciate that. And yeah, I love you guys so much. And reach out to me with any questions. I hope you have a beautiful day. Watch this tap as many times as you need if you need to do more. And I'll see you next week. Bye.